Hey y'all, it's Crystal. Thanks for coming by today. And well, it's already that time, so we're going to talk May reading plans in this video. So let's get started. There's a lot of things going on, and I've got some really fun things planned. I'm ready for May. I'm really ready for May. I had fun in April, but bring on the May because I'm ready. So, so this is just going to be my May TBR, and which is going to be kind of more TBR-ish this month. And because of kind of the events that are going on in May that I want to participate in and things like that. So there are a few readathons and reading events that I want to take part in for May that I'll talk about, and then I'll talk, of course there's book clubs and buddy reads and group reads and all that kind of fun stuff too. So first I'm going to talk about let's just go through all the events first maybe. So of course there's Horror Mayhem, which has been kind of brought back for round 2, and it's an event where we just read horror books that are 250 pages or less. So focus on the shorties. It could be, novellas, short novels, short stories, whatever. I pulled a bunch of things for that. There is Spring Me a Melody, which is created by Gareth from Books, Songs, and Other Magic. And he wants us to spend the springtime, which this is my last month of spring to do this, or read some books that, kind of are about or feature in some way music or sound. So that sounds really cool. I definitely, I got a couple things lined up if I got the time. And of course I didn't mention Horror Mayhem was created by the Bookish Bryants, but this year's being hosted by Criminale, Michael K. Vaughan, Mindy at Mindy's Book Journey, maybe Greg from Other Bibliophile Reads too. So they have kind of revived it for this May and just made it a really simple event to just read some short horror. So that'll be fun. There is also a couple of middle grade events happening this month that I'm gonna throw a couple books in the hat for that. The first up is Bookathon, and it is just a week-long event, the first week of May, and they want us to focus on reading spooky middle grade books. So I jumped in on that, so I'll talk about that a little bit, and I'll link the hosts below. I saw it over on Book4ia's channel, but there are some other hosts that I forgot to write down on my list. My apologies, but I will link everyone below. The other middle grade event is a month-long event, and it is called Middle Grade May, and they call it Middle Grade Mayhem this year because they've got 4 hosts, and it's kind of fun because each host has basically a sort of a theme and some prompts that they created. Excuse me. And so you kind of have to skip around everyone's videos to see what the prompts are. You can kind of pick and choose which ones you want to do, so it's kind of fun. So the host for this event is Storm Reads, Lizzie Faye Loves Books, Dark Reads Creations, and Elizabeth Tyree over at Soul Stained Ink. Again, I'll link everyone below so you can check out their announcements, and you gotta watch their videos so that you can, pick and choose your prompts should you choose to do so. So those are the middle grade. Those are the middle grade readathons. It's also Asian Readathon. This is, of course, hosted by With Cindy, and this is, I don't know, Cindy's been hosting this for several years now. So I've got some books picked out for that. There are prompts for this as well. Again, I've just got moody piles. I'm moody pile reading this month. What else? There is, of course, Zombiethon, which is hosted by Kat's Novel Adventures. Really excited for Zombiethon. She is making us, not making us, she is having us read zombie books and watch zombie movies and TV shows all month long in celebration of Zombie Awareness Month, which is in May. Did you know that? Yeah, it is. So she's got some fun prompts for that as well. And so I'll run through that a little bit too. And then, of course, there's Escape the Readathon, which is hosted by Books with Lexi, and it's a big old event where we're in like teams and we gotta escape a haunted house, and it's gonna be fun. But it's also one of those events where we don't know any kind of prompts until the day of, and then we get more prompts as we go. So again, also plays into me having moody piles. So let's get jumping in. Let's jump right into the stuff because it's a lot. And again, I got got piles of things. So let's talk about book clubs and buddy reads and all that good stuff first. So, the Shades of Orange, Rachel of the Shades of Orange has her Patreon book club, which I love. And this month is a sci-fi pick, and it's Walking to Aldebaran. Is it Aldebaran by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I don't know much about it. If I got time to get to it, I'm going to get to it. I think I'm the only one on the planet that didn't like Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. So, if I get to this one, it'll be kind of giving the author another chance for me. Kelly, of course, from Kelly Hooked on Books, has her book clubs that she runs. She has her Eerie Indies, where she focuses on indie horror, and she has chosen 3 Nights in the Pink Tower by Evie Knight. I definitely want to read this one. It was on my radar when it first came out. I think last year it came out. And I definitely want to get to it. It works perfectly for Horror Mayhem because it's also a shorty. And and the cover is stunning. I want it. Her From Hell book club, where she reads vintage horror books, is her pick for this month is The Cipher by Kathy Koja. Let me hold it up properly. If I get to this one, it'll be a reread for me. I love this book, and I wouldn't mind rereading it because I do love it. But, with all else I got going on, I'm not really sure. But, if I can, I can. But I love this book about, these set in the 90s, and these kids find this sort of black hole to nowhere in the storage closet of their apartment building. And it gets a little grungy and gross from there. And I love it. I just love this book. For the Stephen King read along for the month, I spin the Wheel of King, and we chat about the books over on Brad Proctor's Discord. Again, I will link everyone's channels below. And this time the wheel spun us, was this Danse Macabre? I don't know how you pronounce that. I know this is his nonfiction, I think, where he talks about horror movies and stuff, I think. I think it's like maybe a series of essays. I don't even really know. Slightly big, but I think I'm sure I'd be able to find the audio for this one. So I'm interested to see what's going on in this one. And, as I'm trying to work my way through all the King's books, this is the next step for us. Okay, and Amy Noel Reads has her Dark Hearts book club. The pick this month is Monstrilio by Gerardo Simona Cordova. This sounds great, but I know there's like a little monster creature in the I don't know. Definitely, if I've got time, I want to get to it. Oliver Criminelli has his Patreon book club, and he is reading, we've chosen Skullface Boy by Chad Lutsky. Will also fit perfectly into Horror Mayhem. It is a short novella. I really enjoy Chad Lutsky, and really excited to finally read this one. I think it's going to be great. I think it's about a boy who has a skull face. So yeah, sounds pretty great. He does have his birth year book club, which he's reading The Princess Bride. I will not be reading The Princess Bride. I have read The Princess Bride twice, and I'm not going to be reading it again. But he's reading that if you want to hop in. For my little book club I run with my friends, we have chosen The Maid by Nita Prose for this month. I think it's sort of a thrillery type book about a maid. I don't know. I think it's a bit more of a popular book, so we'll kind of see where this one goes and how I get on with that one. And then there's a group read going on over at Michelle Melancolia's has her the world of horror that she has going on, where she's has a Discord where she's sort of gathering up horror books and horror movies from all across the globe, and she has a group read set up for us this in May, which is Jawbone by Monica Ojeda. And yeah, I definitely want to get to this one. I got this in a Nightworms package, and it actually kind of fits right here for Horror Mayhem. My edition, I don't know if this is like an afterword. What do you think? Let me look really quickly. But okay, there's some translator's notes. Okay, so my edition is 259 pages, so yeah, it definitely fits for Horror Mayhem also. So yeah, let me get the translator. This is translated by Sarah Booker, and I'm excited about this. It just sounds really great. And I've been trying to get into more some translated works this year, so this will be a kind of a check mark for that, and I'm excited at this cover. Oh, it's so amazing. Okay, I've got a couple of buddy reads going on as well, which I'm super excited about. So these will definitely be priorities for the month. We're gonna give this one another go with my friend Mike. We were supposed to buddy read this last year, and I think I like crapped out on him. Sorry, Mike. We're gonna make it happen this May. We're gonna make it happen this time. We're gonna read Nova by Samuel R. Delaney. This is a classic science fiction. I've been wanting to read more Samuel R. Delaney. This came out in 1968, and yeah, I don't know. I think it's space opera. I think it's like in space. So yeah, and I'm excited, and it's not crazy long either. So we should be able to get through this one this time, right, Mike? I'm excited. And then I've got another buddy read planned for May with none other than Mr. Shadyside Library himself. We are going to dig into one of the Nancy Drew Files books. We've both read Case 1, so we're going to go into Case 2, Deadly Intent. I absolutely love this cover. First of all, it's so amazingly 80s. The belted sweater. The Nancy Drew Files, they were fun. They're a bit more maybe soap opera-y of Nancy Drew stories. And this one will also kind of work, I think, for the Spring Me a Melody event, as it has a rock band in this one. So Nancy is in New York City, and she has backstage passes to Radio City Musical, and her best friends, they meet the members of the country's hottest rock group, Bent Fender. But the fun is over when minutes before the concert, the lead guitarist vanishes, and Nancy takes the case. That sounds fun. I just noticed the Twin Towers are there in the background. Yeah, so this should be fun. And it's got our, we're talking about some music, so it works for Spring Me a Melody too. I'm really excited to buddy read this with Mr. Shadyside Library. If you're not watching his channel, what are you doing with your life? Especially if you like sort of old school vintage middle grade and YA horror. This is your guy. And yeah, I'm excited to get back into and read another book of this series too. So yay, that's gonna be fun. Okay, well, I kicked my camera, or yeah, this thing. I kicked my thingy. All right. As stated previously, I've got a couple things pulled for, where is it? For the Spring Me a Melody event. Actually, I've got one book pulled, a physical book. Chuck Palahniuk's The Invention of Sound. This came out in, I think, 2020. I bought it brand new. Didn't ever read it yet, because I am who I am. And this is a book about someone that does like sound effects for movies. So I think that definitely, of course, fits into Spring Me a Melody. Yeah, I don't really want to read much about. I usually enjoy Chuck's books, and I read this one. It's pretty good. So I've got that one. I also have on Audible, you can actually, it's one that you can listen to for free if you're a member of Audible. Right now anyway, at the time of recording, is We Sold Our Souls by Grady Hendrix. I always have time for audiobooks more, so even than physical reading, because my life. So I would definitely like to get to this one. I haven't read this one yet by Grady Hendrix. And of course it features, a rock band, and I think someone sells their soul to a demon, and I've heard it's really fun, and yeah, I think it'll be great. So I could definitely listen to that one too for the Spring Me a Melody event. So for Asian Readathon, I actually pulled several. I've got a few things going on. First of all, some of these, of course, kind of triple and quadruple over to other events. Excuse me. But I picked up some of my middle grade books that have that are about Asian authors and have Asian characters. Words. They left my mind for a moment. And so they are Front Desk by Kelly Yang. I've been dying to read this one. Why haven't I read this one yet? I don't know. I know this features, I think they're a Chinese immigrant family, I think. And they are coming here into the States, and they work at this hotel. I think they also kind of help other Chinese immigrants that are coming into the area. And yeah, her parents hide immigrants, and there's like a mean hotel owner who finds out that they've been letting them stay in their rooms for free, and I think the story kind of goes from there. And it just sounds really good, and I would really like to get to this month. I also have this one. It's an older middle grade book, A Jar of Dreams by Yoshiko Uchida. This takes place in 1935 in Oakland, and we've got a Japanese American family, and our main character is 11-year-old Rinko, who just wants to be treated like everyone else. But there are some people in her neighborhood, like Wilbur Starr, who ridicule her family and make her feel different because she's a Japanese American. But then she has an aunt that visits from Japan, and she teaches Rinko the importance of her Japanese heritage and the value of her own strengths and dreams. Sounds pretty wonderful. It is a super short one. This is from the 80s, I believe. So it's an older middle grade book, but it sounds really great. Yeah, 1981. So yeah, it sounds really great. I forget which of the hosts of the middle grade May had a focus on like reading an immigrant story. So really both of these would work for that prompt. I also have Spirit Hunters by L&O. I've got the second book of this series too. Have I read the first one yet though? No, I haven't. But I think this one maybe also would work for some spooky stuff. So yeah, that sounds great too. Yeah. Okay. Now I also have sort of a secret TBR that I will be doing a vlog for this month. I've been planning this vlog since the beginning of the year, and I still haven't done it. So, but let me just say it ties really well into Asian Readathon, and I'm super excited for it. But I'm gonna keep it a secret for now because I can. So let's talk really quickly about Bookathon, which is the week-long reading event focusing on spooky middle grade, because I do have some prompts. I pulled some books, but again, I'm not stressing much. I'm just gonna get to what I get to. But the first prompt is to read a book with a cat on the cover. It does seem like a lot of middle grade books have cats on the cover. I pulled one off my shelf, kind of an oldie one, Eli's Ghost by Betsy Hearn. As you can see, nice little black cat here, and I think this is like a swamp witch. Sounds really exciting. I know this kid, like Eli, gets lost in the swamp, and then I think his like ghost like removes itself from his body to try to help him, and then he's got some people that are trying to help find him. I don't sounds a little wild, but if I've got time to give it a go. It's really not that long, and really will work for horror mayhem too, because short books, right? Yeah. Book 2 is to read a book about something that you are afraid of. Excuse me. And this is where I'm going to pull in some Zombiethon. And I don't know if I'm just scared of zombies, but I'm definitely kind of scared of like world-ending events. And how will I be one that survives or not? If you really think about it, it can be kind of terrifying. So this is called Ever After, and this is by Olivia Vierweg. And this one sounds great. It's actually a graphic novel also. And what from the sounds of it, it's like it's zombie apocalypse is going on, but there's these sort of like pockets of people that are in these little kind of communities, and I think these two girls are trying to like go from one place to the other. Zombies are out there, something like that. Sounds pretty great. So we'll see. The third prompt is to read a book that's set in an amusement park or a camp. Well, of course, a lot of middle grade books are set in summer camps especially, but also amusement parks and carnivals and theme parks and that kind of thing. Yeah, I would really like to finally get to Monster Street's Carnival because it looks really fun. This is of course by J.H. Reynolds. Now, I think this is officially set during kind of Halloween time. That's fine. I think it'll be fun to read it now, and I do love a good carnival. Story. They do have a group book for the week, if I've got time to get to that one, of course, like I keep saying, is What Lives in the Woods by Lindsay Curry. I looked up the synopsis. Now I don't remember what it's about, but it looks properly spooky, with some spooky woods. Ooh. And now I forgot to mention, I would also really like to get to, for just the general middle grade May, because I got my books in weird piles over here, I would like to finish out the Tristan Strong series. I love this series, but I still got book 3 hanging out there. I need to finish it. So if the audio is available for me this month, the audiobooks are great. So I would love to finish it out with audio and finish out this series and see where it ends up. I know Tristan is in New Orleans this time, so we're changing settings, and I'm really excited, and I'll be able to finish this as well. So those are some middle grade picks that also kind of work for Asian Readathon and Horror Mayhem. It works for all of it. Okay, so now we're going to talk about, well, let's go talk about, finish up Horror Mayhem, because I basically have just pulled a bunch of my short stuff off of my shelf. Go Down Hard by Ali C. I'm just going to mood read Dementia by Russell Coy, Waif by Samantha Kolesnik. Yep, still haven't read this one yet. Just upside down. The Lamb Will Slaughter the Lion by Margaret Killjoy. It's Eric LaRocca here. I've got this one. They Were Here Before Us. I've got my Word book stuff. I've got Stories of the Eye. This is short stories, and Sam Richards' Grief Rituals, his short story collection. I've got And Then I Woke Up by Michael Devlin. I love that cover. Got Mark Allen Gunnell's Tales from the Tales from the Typewriter. I think this is a short story collection. Short story collection by Brendan Vandito, another Weird Punk books. Is Pornography for the End of the World. I love short stories, so I've got this anthology, Moon, Flowers, and Nightshade, a sapphic horror anthology edited by Samantha Kolesnik. Yep, still haven't read this one either. I've got Root Work by Tracy Cross. Tracy Cross. I love this cover. So, and then I got a couple of T. Kingfisher books, which I haven't read yet. Yeah, What Moves the Dead and The House with Good Bones. My books are just falling all over the place. So, I basically, like I said, I just kind of pulled a bunch of short stuff. Just pulled a bunch of short stuff to just kind of mood read, see what the prompts come up for Escape the Readathon, and see if they'll fit any of these books. And they're short, so, yeah. Okay, so for Zombiethon, it's a readathon and a watchathon. Now, Kat has awesome prompts and all that good stuff, so has organized a really great event for us. Of course, I'll link her announcement video below as well, and she also has put out some really great recommendation videos too for books and things to watch. For reading, she has some really fun prompts that zombies can be blank, and then she spells out zombies. So they could be zany, so read a humorous zombie story. They could be open-minded, read a zombie story with romantic vibes, which I'm going to finally read Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion. I've had that on my list forever, and so I'm finally going to get to that. For the humorous one, I don't know, I'm going to hook something out of my pile, I think. I'll show you my pile in a minute. They could be moody, so of course which is to read a middle grade book. Of course, I've got Ever After for that, and I've also found another one on my Libby app, The Last Kids on Earth by Max Brallier. That one sounds really fun too, so I could get into that one. They could be Bring Me's, read a nonfiction, and I've got a couple nonfiction things. One is called Rabid by Bill Wassick and Monica Murphy, and it's not necessarily about zombies, but it is about rabies, and I actually thought that sounded really interesting. Rabies is kind of zombie because it takes over, and it does make you violent, especially in animals, and makes you physically attack other things. And I'm actually really interested in that, so I could get into that one if I feel like it. I found another little short story which is, I think, geared towards kids, but it's called Zombie Makers: True Stories of Nature's Undead by Rebecca L. Johnson. It just sounds really fun too. So I've just, again, I've got like just a list of things that when I'm in the mood, I'm going to get to it. Zombies can be imaginative. Read a comic, a graphic novel, a manga, yada yada yada. Of course, Ever After also works for that because it's a graphic novel. I do also have one of these Stranger Things comics, which is Zombie Boys. So this is Stranger Things kind of with some zombie things going on. So it's like after they defeat the Demogorgon, things happen. Baby. Oh, they're making a zombie horror movie. That sounds really fun. So, okay, that sounds really fun. So, and I really enjoy a lot of these Stranger Things comics. So this one definitely sounds fun too. So yeah, I could do that. Oh, whoops, here's some more short horror books that were on my pile. Eric LaRocca Short Story Collection. Eric LaRocca, this one. Stargazers by L.P. Hernandez. Shadow Vista, Charles Colcott and Marcy. Yeah. Oops, my piles are all mixed up over here. Annie Hoozle. Okay, I also did find a manga because I thought maybe it'd be fun to read a zombie manga. This is called Zombie Cherry by Shoko Kanami. Found this on Libby, so I might check that one out too and see how that one goes. It looks really cute. Zombies Can Be Enterprising, a story that has been adapted. I actually don't think I've got anything for that one quite yet, so I'll have to see about that one. And then Zombies Can Be Spontaneous, so have a mood read, which basically my whole zombie reading will be mood reads because I pulled all of my zombie books that I own from my shelf and put them in my little cart. Like Apocalypse Cow, I've had this one for a while. It's about zombie cows. Yeah, it could work for the Read a Humorous book. I think maybe this would be kind of silly. Yeah, that sounds pretty great actually. I've got this one too. Handling the Undead by John Avedi Lindqvist. This is his sort of take on the zombie stories. Of course, he's most known for Let the Right One In, which is his vampire story, which I haven't read that either, but but yeah, so this one sounds pretty cool. The newly dead are waking up. Yep. It's kind of chunky though, so I don't know. We'll see about this one. I've got this one. I've had this one for a little while. Now this is a YA story. Carrie Ryan's The Forest of Hands and Teeth. It sounds amazing though. It's just why I keep it's still on my shelf. It's went through a couple of unhauls, and so in Mary's world there are simple truths. The sisterhood always knows best. The guardians will protect and serve. The unconsecrated will never relent. And you must always mind the fence that surrounds the village. The fence that protects the village from the forest of hands and teeth. But slowly, Mary's truths are failing her. She's learning things she never wanted to know about the sisterhood and its secrets, and the guardians and their power. And when the fence is breached and her world is thrown into chaos about the unconsecrated and their relentlessness. So now she must choose between her village and her future, between the one she loves and the one who loves her, and she must face the truth about the forest of hands and teeth. Could there be life outside a world surrounded by so much death? See, it sounds great, right? So the cover is a little, but I think it sounds really great. So, and actually another YA book that I got brand new last year, so I read it, The Undead Truth of Us by Brittany S. Lewis. I got this at the sort of book festival I went to last year. And I met Brittany, and she signed it for me, and she's lovely. She's just so lovely. And so yeah, this one sounds great too. So if there's 16-year-old Zara Young is absolutely certain her mother morphed into a zombie before her untimely death, but she can't seem to figure out why. Why her mother died, why her aunt doesn't want her around, why her dreams seem suddenly hopelessly out of reach, and why ever since that day she's been seeing zombies everywhere. The story goes from there. I think it's sort of a different take on the zombie stories. I don't know if there are actual zombies in here or not. But yeah, I've been dying to read it. I want to read it. Of course, I have Hollow Kingdom by Kara James Buxton. This is a zombie story, but we are getting the perspective of this domesticated crow, and I think there's a dog in here too. I think there's a dog. And so, humans are dying off of zombies, and so we get the bird's perspective about what's going on and what's happening. So I need to read this. I know it's going to be wonderful. I don't know why I haven't read it yet. I am who I am. I don't know. I can't explain myself. I also have Severance by Ling Ma, which of course will also work for Asian Readathon. This one is a different sort of zombie story also. But I think it's more about the sort of corporate rat race zombies, the boring, the sort of repetitiveness of day to day, and people being sort of zombies in their life. I think is kind of where this one is going. I don't know yet though, because I haven't read it yet. But yeah, I think this is what I'm pretty interested in. So yeah, I'm excited. I also have like 3 zombie anthologies. I don't know how I even ended up with all of these. I've got The Living Dead. Yeah, I got this one. And they probably all have a lot of the same stories in them. I don't know. I'm a crazy person. I've got this one, Zombies, Tales of the Walking Dead. And I got this one, Zombies. I love this cover. It looks like a very kind of a pulp magazine kind of cover. this is the most complete collection of zombie stories ever published. I mean, and it is pretty big. Oh, it's one of those books that's like double columned, yeah. So yeah, we'll see what I can find in here too. Because of course reading short stories will work for, Horror Mayhem, and also for Zombiethon. And I did forget to pull this because I guess I'm not seeing it readily on my shelves, but I do have I think it's called The Living Dead by the George Romero and I think Daniel Krauss book, but it's like really big. Why I didn't pull that book? Because it's probably hiding. I probably can't even see it on my shelves. But that'll be on my maybe list too. Maybe I can find an audio for it. I got some ebooks too that are lurking on my Kindle because I like zombie stories, but I guess I'm just really bad at actually reading them. One I would like to get to is Positive by David Wellington. This is actually one of my 23 for 23 books, so I definitely would like to get to that one. I have another anthology on my Kindle called The Mammoth Book of Zombies. I don't know. I've got The Bone House by Emily Lloyd Jones, which I heard it's got a zombie feeling. I've got The Purge of Babylon by Sam Sisavath. I've got this series called The Colony. I could read like maybe book 1, which is called Genesis by Michael Brent Collin. I've got Resist by David Viergutz. I've got First Wave by J.T. Sawyer. I've got Resurrection by Michael J. Totten. I've got the Bunker 12 series. The first one would be Contained by Saul W. Tanpepper. I've got Dead Heavens, Heaven or Haven by Flint Maxwell. Yeah, these are all things that are lurking on my Kindle, so I've got plenty of zombie things to choose from, and I'm really just kind of mood read this month, more so than really I kind of ever do, and just kind of see where the month takes me, and hopefully I can escape the haunted house with escape the readathon with my vacationers. I'm on team vacationers, by the way. And yeah, I think that's it. So this was long, I'm sorry, but there's a lot going on in May. Excuse me. And I'm really excited just for to work through my little piles of possibilities and all these events that I think sound really fun and are really important. And yeah, so again, everyone I linked will be mentioned, or everyone I mentioned will be linked below for channels. Check it out if you are interested in hearing more about the events if you didn't know about them before. And yeah, that's gonna do it for me. So happy reading in May, everyone. Let me know what you're gonna be reading, what kind of readathons or events are you going to be taking part in. And thanks for watching as always. I appreciate your time. Till next time. Bye-bye.